get this thing underway, and obviously the benefactors Trentham Ice, big factors.
Yeah, it's obviously a huge, huge credit to everyone for setting this up. I think Trentham Ice is going to be great for the kids and everyone, all the local people involved, and making sure they get to use a nice facility and have a lot of fun. And even designating it to a few charities and giving them their day is even better. And I just think it's a great thing all around.
3 charities involved, and that's a big ask in many ways. But a lot of sponsors do come along and help, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. I think the more people that get involved, the better. I think it's, like I said, it's a great cause, and we need to keep these kind of things going and get them started. And it's going to be nice for Trentham, and I think everyone who lives in the area and everyone who can use it.
And it lends itself well, this area as well, doesn't it? Particularly Trentham, all these facilities.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, I'm a regular visitor here. I don't live too far from here, so I'm sure it's a place where I get to take my daughter and have a bit of fun. And the more people use it, the better.
And from a charitable point of view, you know all about that, because you've got your own charity as well.
Yeah.
How important is it the thing keeps going? Because it's very difficult in these times with obviously the financial climate in many ways, Asmir, but the people still seem to come out in Staffordshire and Cheshire, don't they? Yeah,
of course. I think people are very proud of the community here and very, very proud of the local people, and I think everyone gets involved in these kind of things, and it's important. I think the club have obviously for a long time now we've been very passionate about contributing to the community and being a big part of the community. So we take that very seriously, and filters down to the players and everyone involved in the club, and we all try and do and commit to this together.
And the commitment of the club, and you've known it now for the time you've been here, it shows a lot of progress in the way they are obviously tapping into the community, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I think they understand that they play a big role in the community. Everyone kind of looks at Stoke City and wants to be involved with it, and anytime the club puts their name to anything, and it's obviously something very serious and means a lot, and brings a lot more people in there as well. So it's a great cause, like I said, and it's important to have more of these kind of things as well.
Okay, I just want to go on to yesterday's game, if that's all right. So obviously, fantastic to get back to winning ways, back-to-back home wins. What was the atmosphere in the dressing room like after the game?
Yeah, obviously very, very happy and satisfied. It was a hard-fought win. It's never easy playing Swansea, and you're in for a tough game, and we showed the qualities they had yesterday. So we showed a lot of character as well coming from behind, and winning that game yesterday. It was nice to get back home wins and get back into our usual home form.
And shortly after the game, you'll have heard Gary Monk's comments, no doubt. What do you make of them?
Yeah, I just think it's a little bit disappointing, to be honest. I don't think I think it's difficult times sometimes after the game to react. I mean, I'm sure he's angry and would have felt like maybe his team deserved a little bit more, but it's disappointing to see one of my teammates get labeled on those kind of names, and I don't think it's going to affect Victor too much, and I don't think he did too much wrong either, to be honest.
What did Victor say when he heard?
Nothing.
What was your take on the incident itself?
Well, during the game, I thought it was a penalty. I was a bit far from it, but I think I was in the speed of the game and everything else. I thought it was a penalty, and even seeing it back, maybe you could say it's a little bit soft, whatever, but there's an arm going across him, and I'm sure it's being pulled. And like I said, I'm not a huge expert in traveling at that kind of fast pace, but anytime you get a bit of a nudge, you can be knocked off balance. And I think anytime a player kind of pulls another player's shirt, you're going to be in for a chance of giving a penalty away. So I think that's what happened, and I thought the referee made a good decision.
So you touched on there, anytime a player has a shirt, other opposition's shirt in the hand, what was your view on the other penalty? And it was right.
Well, again, we're not denying the fact that it was shirt pulling. There was people grabbing each other, but I think it was both ways. I think their player was trying to block our player as well, and there's a lot of pushing and shoving going on in the box. Everyone's trying to battle for position and get into a better position for themselves. So I think if you call that once, then you got to call it in many different games. It's just one of those things that happen. I believe football is a physical sport. It's a contact sport, and you got to let these guys fight it out a little bit, and whoever wins gets a better position. So it's I don't think it's too serious, but thankfully we bounced back from yesterday.
So do you think possibly the referee realised that, and he was I don't want to say he evened it up, but he was keen to sort of redress the balance maybe?
Well, I think he was being consistent. Obviously, if he's penalising us for short pull, then obviously he's penalising the other team for short pull. So that's the way it goes, and we would have been disappointed if it went the other way, because it's difficult to give it one way and not the other. So I think he was just being consistent, and I don't think it was a case of evening it out. It's just done 2 incidents and gave 2 penalties.
Okay, so the win puts Stoke obviously back towards where they want to be. Is the top half somewhere that the team want to stay now?
Of course, that's where we want to stay. I think that's our goal. That's where we finished last year, and if we want to progress as a club, we have to try and establish ourselves in that top 10. And and really push forward. So it's that's our goal. But you know, as you can see, the Premier League is so competitive, so many good teams, and so many good players. So every game is difficult, and we're in for another difficult game this weekend.
Yeah, well, I was just going to move on to Southampton. Obviously, we're playing twice within a week because of the League Cup game. What's the feeling ahead of those two?
Well, the feeling is it's a big challenge ahead. Obviously, going away to Southampton is never easy. I think we've recruited ourselves actually quite well in the last couple of trips there, so hopefully we can take a bit of confidence from that. But you know, we'll try and focus on us as much as we can and try to maybe take the game a little bit to Southampton. And you know, I think our away form has been reasonably good, so hopefully we can go there with a positive attitude and try to derail Southampton's run a little bit.
So when a team scores 8 the week before, if at all, does that have any impact on the way that you prepare?
No, not so much, obviously. I think you prepare the same as you do for any other game. You look at the strengths and weaknesses and try to analyse the game. I think that was a bit of a freak result. I think it was a day that nothing went Sunderland's way. You know, things like that can happen, and it can happen in any given Premier League game, obviously. If you're not on it that day or making too many mistakes, then any team's going to punish you, and that's what happened.
Okay, you probably won't be involved in the League Cup if the previous games are to go by. I know Jack's gone out on loan today, and I'll come to that in a minute, but how important is it, do you think, for the team to have a run in the Cup?
Well, it's huge. We take the Cups very seriously, and you know, we see it as a way of trying to win the trophy. Obviously, the Premier League's probably out of our reach, and there's bigger teams playing for that. But you know, if we can make a cup run in those competitions, then it bodes well for the club. And we're all ambitious players. We want to try and win trophies and bring success to the club. So we take it very seriously.
Just finally on Southampton, have you been surprised at all by the way that they've sort of hit the ground running under Koeman this season?
Well, yeah, perhaps a little bit, but then on the other side, I'm not. I mean, Ronald Koeman, first of all, is a huge name in football. He's a huge player, one of the best players in the world at his time. So he knows what he's doing, and has had some good managerial jobs as well. So I'm surprised now. I'm sure he would have identified the right players to come in and make an impact, and that's what they've done. And you know, I think maybe the only slight surprising thing is how quickly they've gelled. Obviously, when he brings so many new players in, it takes a bit of time, but obviously the characteristics and the qualities of the players have really gelled and matched, and created for a good team.
Okay, on a personal note, I heard earlier today some rumours linking you with a move to Real Madrid. You're not moving, are you?
No, not as far as I know. Not as far as I know. Obviously, those rumours and links are very flattering, of course. But like I've said before, it just gives me a bit more motivation to work harder and do even better for this club. And I'm enjoying working with the rest of my teammates and the rest of the guys here, trying to help this club progress and move in the right direction. And what happens in the future, we'll see.
One player who has gone out is Jack Butland. What do you think the move to Derby will do for him?
Well, I think it's a good opportunity. Obviously, he's desperate to play games. He's obviously been competing here, and we've got a good core of goalkeepers, a good group of goalkeepers here who are competing and working hard each and every day. And I think it's a great move. Obviously, Derby in a good position and pushing for promotion. So I'm sure he'll enjoy that challenge and helping them stay up in top of the championship.
And on Jack, then, he's obviously going to the 2015 Under-21 Championship with England. He's a captain. Do you think that's going to bring him on as a player as well as the loan move?
Yeah, of course. I think anytime you play for your country in any kind of competition, it's a good experience, and obviously being captain, everything else gives him some different responsibilities and different experiences that come along the way. So I think that'll help him, you know, in the future and help him move forward. And I'm sure he's got a pretty big future in the game. So he's someone that's going to push on and have a great career ahead of him.
And just finally from me, Andy Wilkinson gone out on loan, a player that's been around longer than anybody else at the club. How do you think some game time will work?
Well, you know, knowing Wilco, he's desperate to play games. You know, he's such a competitor and trains, works hard each and every day. And I think it's been frustrating for him that the fact he hasn't been able to get on the side. And you know, I think a move to Millwall is great for him and gives him a lot of games and puts him back up there and gets his match fitness up and everything. So, you know, he's someone that deserves to be playing games. He's been a great servant to the club, and hopefully can come back here and make an impact for this club.
Brilliant. Cheers, mate.
Asmir, obviously, referees, should they be accountable? I mean, obviously, we've seen everything this weekend, not only in the Stoke game, but also in other games as well. Should they be accountable after the game to come out and explain the decision?
Well, I don't see anything wrong with that. I think they're human beings just like us. You know, as players, if we make mistakes or whatever, we have to face the media and explain ourselves or whatever. And as